countdown, or is it just live?
Nope, you're live.
We're
now.
live. Hi, guys. My name's Amy. Welcome to our media show. Obviously, this is Art with a Heart. So we're going to be doing some painting today that is based off Mr. Kandinsky. He is a Russian painter. In his version, he did circles, and this was experimenting color and how they are associated with each other and how they complement each other. But today, since we have Valentine's Day coming up soon, I thought hearts would be a lot more fun. So let's go over what you have as far as supplies, and we can work together on a different piece. I'm going to show you how to do it, but you are more than welcome to take your own version of it. With the 3 colors you have, I'm going to show you how to make the rainbow. So you'll have all of your different colors, but you're able to do it randomly like I did here, or you can do a specific pattern if that's something you would prefer. Okay? So we didn't do any pencils in our packets because we're just going to be painting. So it's pretty simple as far as our full grid here. It's just going to be some lines and some hearts. So I think we all know how to do some hearts and some lines. I think we start there most of the time. All right. So first, I think it's a good idea if we go ahead and get some of our colors down so we can get an idea of how we want to lay everything out on our piece. So since this paint is tempera, it means it has some water in it, so it's nice if you get your brush pretty wet already and make sure it's all good and clean. Don't want to get mixed up colors because color is the whole point of this practice. So your 3 primary colors are going to be red, yellow, and blue. So it's most of us know that red and blue make purple. So if you want to do some purple on your piece, you can go ahead now and scoop some of the red on your other piece here or your other plate. We're going to use this one as our palette, kind of like, professional artists. So get a bunch of red to start with. And then I recommend not using all of your red because you may want to do another area with just red, because this is going to be purple. Okay, I like to rinse my brush out just so I know what I've got going on my brush, not too many colors so it doesn't get too messy and muddy. And I like to start with a little bit of blue because the blue is a darker color, so it's going to definitely be more dominant. And then you just continue to mix it to the color that you want, as far as like how deep of a purple you want. Do you want it to be more maroon because you're going to do reds and purples for Valentine's Day? Totally up to you. So we're going to start there, and that should be a pretty good purple, violet. Mine is a little more red, which I kind of like. But you can do whatever you want. All right, so I'm going to make sure I've got all that off. Rinse my brush out one more time. So now we have red, yellow, blue, and purple. What are we missing? We've got 2 more colors to create. We've got orange and green. All right, so let's go ahead with our purple or our red one more time. We're going to go ahead and get that orange color that we want. So one more time with the red. Honestly, red is a really fun paint. I don't know why. Everybody's drawn to the red. It's fun, satisfying, I guess. All right. Wash that out on your brush. Because when you dip into the yellow, we don't want it to get too much red in there because maybe you want to do some yellow somewhere. I'm going to scoop it up a little bit. Do a good mix. And yeah, I've got a pretty dark orange here so far because remember, red is a more dominant color to yellow. So you're probably going to want to put a little extra yellow if you're wanting it to be a bright orange, which I kind of like a bright orange. So I'm going to put a little more yellow in mine. All right, and you should have 2 more colors on your palette. And we're missing one more, and that's going to be green. So rinse your brush out one more time. And grab some yellow. And some of you may already know, after that, we're grabbing blue. All right. And again, the blue is very dominant, so if you're wanting a darker green, you're fine to put a lot of blue. If you want a lighter, brighter green, which is what I did, I like a bright green. Mix it up, and now we've got a whole rainbow. I always feel like that's a really fun part of art. It's kind of magical to me that we can make all these colors out of just mixing the three of them. So that's always really fun. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and get started on mapping out our space. So he did several grid paintings. The specific one that I mimicked was 3 rows, and then for fun I added one more. You are more than welcome to add as many as you would like. For this example's sake, I'm going to do 3 rows, and then I'm going to do 3 vertical, okay? So we're going to go horizontal and vertical, which means up and sideways, up, down, and sideways, back and forth, all those things. Okay, so since my paper's really big, I'm going to go ahead and make a square within it. You can use whatever color you'd like. This is just going to be your like underlay background. So since you want it to be really light, I say add a lot of water and just make it really light. Nothing super dark. And if you want to go back in and do super dark, you can. That's the fun part about putting a light color. But some people are brave and put down that dark color. I like to take my time and make a big square. All right. And it does not have to be perfect. Don't worry about your measurements, because if it looks a little uneven later, you can always go back in and kind of correct it with the color that you're going to use on top, okay? Remember, this is just our underlay, our undercoat. All right. So now that we have our square, we're going to go in and do 3 rows. So these are our vertical lines going down and going down. So now we've got 3 rows, okay? And then the next one's really easy. We're going to do 3 again. So we're going to go right here. Looks like a tic-tac-toe board, kind of.
I was just thinking the same
Yeah, with the 3. So if you want to do circles and hearts, you totally can. You want to do X's and O's. You can hugs and kisses for Valentine's Day. That's always fun. All right. So now, since we started that, I want to do all of my hearts red on this one. So you are welcome, like I said, to do whatever colors you like. But I'm really into the red right now. So I'm going to go ahead and make a little heart right there. And since I'm using this color red for the heart already, that's okay. And then I'll just continue my hearts. You can do this with your underlay color if you want, and then go back in and fill them in with a different color. That's totally fine. For me, I'm about the red hearts today. I found out a really fun fact about Valentine's Day. Since this song about flowers has got everybody singing about flowers, I wanted to know how many flowers are made specifically for Valentine's Day. It is an ungodly number. 250 million roses are grown just for Valentine's Day.
Wow, that's a lot of roses.
That's a lot of roses. That's a lot of flowers.
Do you know who the largest exporters of flowers in the world are?
Tell me. I don't know the largest export of flowers.
The first one is Holland.
Holland?
Yeah.
Oh,
and the second one, I believe, is Colombia.
Oh, that's where you're from, Nat. Those are your people. All right.
I do love the flowers in Colombia.
Yes, okay, so lots of hearts, hopefully lots of love. That's what we're all about around here. We love the love, we love love. So I want to do all of my hearts in red. You're more than welcome to fill your color with whatever you want in your hearts, but this is a good time to go ahead and do that. So Kandinsky was, the reason he was so fascinated with color, with the artist that we're replicating here, he had a condition called synesthesia, and that is, I hope, the correct way to say it. Miss Mary and I were over here really struggling with making sure we said it correctly, but Google didn't want to tell me. So that condition, point of that, the condition is it associates color with a mood and a sound. So this artist, when he would look at colors, certain colors would give him a mood or a sound. So it eradicates your senses a lot more, right? Like it kind of like, if something's really loud, it kind of freaks you. It's too much if you're in this one area, right? But if you're looking at a color and it's almost like giving you that reaction of sound and sight with that reaction, it's kind of intense. So he wanted to see how the colors relate to each other and how the harmony can sound together and look. So he did several pieces that were based just on color. He's known for being an abstract artist, which abstract means nothing. It could be random lines, random color, random shapes, and that was something he really enjoyed focusing on, just the primitive space and pieces and color. So I actually really enjoy his work based on that. And you know, a lot of times we look at abstract pieces, all of us do it, and we go, I could have done that. That's a heart, you know, it's a square. But when you think of it in the way that this particular artist, his senses reacted to those colors, it's really cool to see how he would see things. So some of his paintings actually are in shapes of instruments because that's what it sounded like to him. So I encourage you to look him up. His name is Kandinsky, and he's Russian. I can't really pronounce the first name.
Actually, his name is Wassily Kandinsky.
Thank you. On my speller over there, I appreciate it. Help me out.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so look him up. He's pretty fun, and it's really cool to see the sounds that he would associate with the pieces. So sometimes it's a lot more interesting learning about the artist, and then you can connect what that artist is actually trying to portray in the piece, which makes it more interesting, honestly, because like we could all say, yeah, we could do that, but think about how his combination of sound and vision worked together to give him whatever sound he was seeing. So I don't know, it's pretty neat. I can't necessarily relate with seeing a sound, but when I look at certain pieces, I can absolutely tell you like those colors really just like, oof. You ever seen someone where their like colors on their clothing just don't match? And you're like, you're really loud today. So that's a lot of why that saying kind of comes into play. Ooh. All right, I am going probably a little faster than you. I don't know, your pieces are a little bit smaller than mine. That's why I'm going probably a little quicker. But I'm just taking my time, filling in my hearts. I wanted them to be really rich in color. You can always come back if you want to make the colors brighter. I mean, who doesn't love to paint hearts? I feel like it's one of the first shapes we really start enjoying. Like, obviously we do circles and lines, but hearts are fun. Absolutely made some sweetheart Valentines. Okay. So we've got all of our hearts in, and we've got our grid, and it kind of looks like tic-tac-toe, kind of like a Valentine. So at this point, I think it would be really fun to do different colors in your background, and we're gonna do one more almost like circling around the heart, like we did here. This area, boop, it's just whatever color you want it to be, but like I said, if you wanna do a pattern and do it all the same, you can. So it's really simple, we're just doing a line around the heart. So I'm gonna rinse my brush out really good because I think I wanna do different colors on mine in the background. So I'm gonna do purple around my hearts on this one. And then I'll do all the fun colors in their background. But again, whatever you wanna do, it's totally okay. And I kinda like the way that these pieces, I'm just mixing some more purple so that I have plenty. So don't think you're a step behind or anything. I really enjoy doing different colors, following the color wheel. And I don't remember what I was saying before that. Sorry, guys. I got a little lost in the paint here. All right. Oh, that's what I was saying. I like it. Some of the pieces that he had kind of overlapped. He didn't use all the same medium. And medium means what you're using at the time. So your paints, your brush, your water. The mediums that he used weren't always the same kind of paints. So some of his paintings look a little bit more kind of like messy, like this one. But I like that personally. I think that that's kind of what gives it, each piece, its own originality. So don't try to do it too pretty. Don't try to, I mean, if that's the kind of Valentine you're looking for, but as far as replicating this artist's style, it's totally fine to do it more of like a loose sketching way. So that's my preference. But you may be someone who likes a really clean grid, and that's fine too. All right, so I've got quite a bit of purple here, and I think that's plenty for the ring around my hearts here. All right, so like I said, we're just gonna do a nice little outline around them, and it's just that simple. So I'm gonna make sure that it reaches the edge of the heart, and then I'm just pulling down, shoop, making it pretty and clean, cleaning up any edges on my hearts that were a little messy. You can do that if you'd like. I feel like this one for me is looking a little cleaner than my other one. Like we talked about, different styles on each of them.
It's looking great so far.
Thanks, Matt.
Yeah, it should be a little different on each one.
Yeah, right? That's what gives it that originality that we were talking about.
That's right.
That's why, you know, I believe even with all of our AI stuff, I mean, those are amazing tools. I think they're awesome to use. They can give you ideas, and certain things may require it, but it is pretty cool to know that you will always be something original, and what you create is only something you can create. So I believe that's a really great message with art, and it's one of the reasons why I really love it. You don't have to be anything special or unique. Art is for everybody.
Just like your heart's up there, every one
That's
of them is
right, everyone
individual
deserves
and
it.
deserves attention. And
Absolutely.
yeah.
And that, I believe, is what this holiday should be about. If we're celebrating love, there's so many different kinds of love, right? There's family love, but there's also self-love. There's friends that you love. There's loved ones as far as children. Maybe they're just little nuggets and they don't know, but you love them. Nieces, nephews, grandparents. It's a time to be thankful for anyone that's able to help you fill that cup sometimes when you feel super down or overwhelmed. We all need love. It's very important. That's why we have each other. All right. So you may be doing different colors. There is no time limit on this now that you got all the instructions pretty much. Because at this point, the next step, we're just filling in those lines. And because it's an underlay, we can paint over the lines, or if you really like the lines, you can keep them and just color the inside of the squares. I don't know, I'm kind of liking the green around it. All right. This is very satisfying. At the end of the day, I try to do my own personal art practices because art is something that really helps me wind down and calm down. And I'm here all day doing art with you guys, and it's so much fun. And sometimes I don't really have a lot of creativity at the end of the day. So I like to either use my watercolors and just do spots of colors and just, nothing particular I'm trying to create. It's just the act of creating, And that's what we teach all day, and that's what's really fun and important. It really opens up your mind, and just like this artist with using something that maybe some people look at as a disadvantage, you can use to your advantage in your art or in your life or in your craft, whatever it is that you're good at or maybe you want to be good at. Create a new way to do things. This particular artist, Kandinsky, he was one of the leading abstract artists.
There's an N in there. It's Kandinsky.
Kandinsky?
Yeah. He can.
He can.
He can, Dinsky.
Good job, Can. He can.
I'm sorry, I was just trying to help
Thank
you.
you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, he was one of the leading abstract artists. So like he was doing new stuff that nobody was doing yet. Putting color combinations, simplifying shapes. And that was all in relation to what some people would call his disadvantage with the synesthesia condition, seeing colors and hearing sound. All right, so I've got all my hearts. I'm just going to check my time. We're doing good. All right.
Yeah, you've only been doing this for 20 minutes.
Whoop, whoop.
Still got plenty of time.
You guys are probably faster than me. I don't know. I like to be slow and steady. That's okay. All right, give my brush a good rinse because we're using lots of different colors. And sometimes if you mix the wrong colors, you're going to get muddy colors, and that's not something we like. Sometimes they're beautiful and we can create the rainbow, and sometimes we can make it look awful like mud. So anyway, now that I've got that, I'm going to dab it just a little bit, get it wet again, just a touch. And from here, we're just going to color in the blocks, different colors, and that's it. It's nothing complicated. And if you want to go back in and make special designs in the middle of each of these, that's totally fine too. So I'm going to start with orange since I've got it right here on my palette. And I'm going to go ahead and cover these lines if I can, just so you can see them a little better, because my underline here was very faint. All right. And we're just doing a clean outline there, and then we're just coloring it in. Boop, little triangle. All gone. And then here, same thing. I'm just making my little lines. If you want to just outline it first, you can do that too, if that's easier for you. So you just color in the square versus trying to like make pretty lines and color it that way. And then we're just going to paint it in. All right. And there is no wrong way to do this. So no sweat. If you have any questions, feel free to ask any of your artists that are on the floor. We have Art with a Heart artists walking around, or on the playroom. If you guys are interested in talking to any of them, maybe you have a question about your piece, or maybe a color combination that you think might not look good, or you just want advice, or you want to see how it looks. How you doing? That's cool. We like to talk. All right, so I'm going to rinse my brush out because now I want to put my next color, and I don't know where I'm going to do orange again. If you know where you want to put that color again, you just go for the next square. For me, I'm going to go ahead and do my yellow. I really like yellow. To me, yellow is a really loud color. This color is normally associated with bright energy, exciting. And then next to the orange is always fun because you think of a sunset. All right. I probably should have gotten a bigger brush for my spaces here. But yours should be pretty pointy brushes, and if it's a square flat brush, that's okay too. You can use the sides, those clean lines on the side, and just pull down with it. Woo. All right. And see, some of it is going to mix maybe. That's okay. Maybe sometimes you can blend it out, and sometimes it just looks kind of nice. Random color on the side. All right, so I've got all my yellow there, and now I think I'm going to do blue, because why not?
That sounds like a valid reason.
Right? Someone once told me, there was a little boy, and he said, I think that God's favorite color is blue. And I thought, why would you think that? What gave you that conclusion? He said, the sky is blue, the water is blue. I was like, wow, that's a pretty logical assumption. So I don't know. Maybe God's favorite color is blue, guys. But it is a very calming color, and that's why I like it. I like teals. I think both of those colors are normally associated with the ocean. It's kind of hard to ask people what their favorite color is because some people aren't really sure. And I always say, like, each color has its own job, so I like all of them. I like all the jobs. But I've started asking people, are you more of a cool or warm color person? And that always gives such an interesting response. I really like that you get try to get different responses from people, really kind of make them think when we're doing these art sessions with the kids and sometimes parents. It's kind of fun. I think it says something about the person each time. It's kind of cool. Nothing good or bad each way. It's just fun to know, like, oh, okay. You like the warms. I personally like the warmth. I do not like the cold. I am really sorry for everybody dealing with snow right now. That sounds like a hard life. It is not snowing out here. I have a sister living in Maine, and she likes to send us pictures of the snow, and it's so beautiful. And you know what? That's awesome in the picture.
I think they're getting even a lot more snow in Maine right now too.
Oh man, it's cold. She sent us a picture, said it was -4 degrees over there.
Yep,
I don't even know how to dress. My mom always used to say, like, you know, she'd rather be cold because you can always put more clothes on. I was like, I just feel like I've been cold to the bone before, and I don't know that is 100% true. I just don't know.
I've noticed it's not so bad when you get inland, but anytime you're in the cold near a body of water,
yes, makes a big difference.
That's that to the bone cold that you're talking about.
Yeah, when I was younger, I guess my second time up north, we went to see the Eiffel Tower, or I'm sorry, not the Eiffel Tower, the
Empire State Building?
Statue of Liberty.
Statue of Liberty.
Yes,
Okay.
and we had to take a ferry out there. Woo!
Yeah.
It was so cold. So cold. That was what you're talking about, that chill to the bone up there in New York. It was freezing. All right. So yours should be starting to look kind of like a pattern now. I feel like mine looks like little buttons, like, I don't know, some kind of, they're fun, like little kid toys, you know, like baby toys, a button.
I kind of want a pot holder that looks like that.
Poppet! Oh, the poppets are popular. Yeah.
What's a poppet?
They're the little toys that you press in the bubbles, and you go press in, press out, press in, press out. It's kind of like something to do with your hands while you're listening or learning.
That sounds cool too. No, I was actually talking about like a pot holder that you use to, like, you know, take pans off the oven. Off the stove.
Like a stove. Oh, I see what you're saying. The stove little metal things. Yeah. I could see that
We call
too.
them pot holders in my family.
holders?
What do you guys call them?
Nothing at all. We just don't call them.
We just use our hands because we are so strong.
We don't call them anything. Okay. So what color do we not have? I think we can, since this one is looking almost like very close to that red, I'm going to do a lighter orange. So I'm just going to put a little more yellow in here. And that should give me a brighter orange to do again. Whoop. I actually really love the rainbow, all the different colors together, so this was a project right up my alley. My niece is the one who started saying, "What's your favorite color?" And she would say, "Rainbow." And I had to take it. I use that now. Matt thinks it's funny.
It's a great response.
One of our other artists says, we ask what her favorite color is, and she says, "Sparkle." Whoop. Okay. So at the end, we are going to give these examples out, and if this is something that you're excited about and you really like and you want to put one in your room, let us know, or let one of your artists know, and we can do that for you. All right. So to finish this row, I'm going to go ahead and put some yellow. I'm trying to keep it kind of random with the colors, but if you're doing a pattern, that's cool too. Oh, it looks like a little red snuck in there. That's okay. All right. This is actually looking like a light orange, but like I said, random is fine too. All right, so I'm going to rinse my color brush out again, so maybe I can get a pure color this time. I'm going to try to do blue again. Man, if my art teacher could see me now doing clean squares. We had to do a project in class once where we had to do, we were learning color, and he said make some squares and go down the line, adding white into each color so that you can see the variation. So we did that with several different colors and different ways, and he came over to my art canvas or whatever I was working on to do color theory, and he said, "So you don't like coloring in the lines, huh?" And I didn't know what he meant. I looked over at my piece. Each of my squares had just like, in each of them, he's like, "You're going to need to clean that up." I said, "That's my art expression." So he would be very proud of me now, seeing how clean these squares are.
Those are some very clean looking squares.
I'd be trying.
I mean, it looks like you used a ruler.
Do what I can. My water is a little muddy now. Yours might be too. And that's okay. Try your best to not blend the colors. I keep trying to get a pure yellow, and at this point, I think all my colors are mixed so much I can't. But that's okay. I'm going to go and repeat some green. And if you need more green, you can mix your yellow and blue, because we learned how to do that earlier. So if you have a question or you don't remember which colors to mix, holla at your artists that are walking around. Little Art with a Heart people, we're there. All right, and my last square. I guess I should do this burgundy color. I don't know. I'm mixing both of these a little bit. You can just get creative since it's the last one. Looks like 3 in a row, like I made tic-tac-toe. Beep. All right. Well, while I'm finishing this last one, if you guys are still watching, we appreciate it. We love what we do, and we're excited to work with you. So if you have any questions or requests or think of an art project you would really like to work on, talk to your nurse and see if maybe we could come and hang out with you or work on something with you. This is also going to be on our media, social media, our YouTube channel, and our Instagram. So if you missed something or you can't remember something, you can always go back and look at it and fast forward to the area you missed or anything like that. Or you can ask us. But definitely check those out because we have other videos that are actual teaching videos of different styles of art that we do. You can learn different mediums. All right. Matt, is there anything else I need to let our friends know?
No, I think that's about it. I think you've done a great job.
Awesome.
I think we're all ready to do some studies of Kandinsky's famous work.
Go look him up, right? Awesome. All right, guys, really enjoyed hanging out with you. This was fun. It's always really relaxing for me to just not have to think and do some simple shapes. It's a really good practice if you feel overwhelmed. I know there's a lot going on these days. So get some rest. Check out the media. We'll see you next time.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. And have a great day and stay creative.